CP1221-47 recording length 03 minutes and 33 seconds. This recording was created using www.spokentext.net. Was the CPUSA ever banned by the U.S. government? The answer is both yes and no. The CP was never banned as a political party and named by the U.S. government. However, the CP has had its leaders sent to prison for long terms for teaching Marxism-Leninism, has been declared illegal in more than a few states, and has been the target of numerous forms of official and unofficial government repression. Shortly after its founding in 1919, the CP was the target of the so-called Palmer raids, which arrested and deported many foreign-born radicals. J. Edgar Hoover got his start as a Justice Department official helping to direct these raids, which resulted in the deportation of several thousand foreign-born radicals, including members of the CP. In the 30s, communists were the targets of many forms of repression, both as communists and as key organizers of industrial unions. In Detroit, Chicago, San Francisco, and many other cities, communists were killed by police forces trying to prevent union organization and public demonstrations. During this period, the House of Representatives set up a committee named after its first chairman, Martin Dies, which investigated radical activity. This committee later became the House Un-American Activities Committee, responsible for many of the anti-communist witch hunts of the late 40s and 50s. In 1948, the top leadership of the CP was arrested under the Smith Act. It was charged with trying to overthrow the U.S. government by force and violence. Later, many other national and state party leaders were arrested and charged. In none of these cases was any criminal activity ever an issue. None of them were ever charged with engaging in any activity of force or violence. Only with teaching Marxism-Leninism. Some of the national leaders spent 4 years in prison. Several who went underground spent 8 years in prison, when they turned themselves in after the others were finally released. Eventually, after long legal and political struggles, the Supreme Court invalidated key sections of the Smith Act as unconstitutional. After long struggles for democratic rights, waged in many cases by the party and a few supporters, portions of the McCarran Act were also declared unconstitutional. Other struggles were over various so-called loyalty oaths, for jobs, for union membership in some unions, and for running for office in some states. Eventually most of these were dropped, invalidated by courts, or simply ignored. Nonetheless, in some states, for example Washington State, there remain unenforced laws on the books, which make it illegal to be a member of the CP, subject to heavy fines and imprisonment. In the 1950s, a government program was set up by the FBI named COINTELPRO. Its assignment was to conduct spying on illegal activities of communists, and to use subterfuge and lying to split the CP. In the late 60s, this program was also used against the Black Panther Party and many radical student groups. In virtually every instance, the only illegal activity was on the part of the U.S. government and its agencies. The only crimes that radicals were seriously accused of were signing petitions, organizing demonstrations, teaching radical thought, and similar legal, democratic acts. This recording was created using Spoken Text, the free online text-to-speech converter. To learn more about Spoken Text, visit www.spokentext.net.